Hey tankers, and welcome back to World of Tanks with PR154, where we're taking the road less travelled. This is part of my routine for grinding Battle Pass, I guess. So you can get Battle Pass points from completing your daily missions. It's probably the most efficient place to get your Battle Pass points, but you can also get them from grinding vehicles from Tier 6 through to Tier 10, and your amount of Battle Pass points will vary depending on whether you win and how high in the experience game results that you end up. You need to be in the top 10 to be earning any Battle Pass points. But and then once there's a finite amount of Battle Pass points you can earn per vehicle, and once you max them out, you can you get an extra little bonus here. So it's prudent to basically pick a vehicle and try to just grind it. Try to focus on that through the course of your Battle Pass grind. So what I do, I take two vehicles from each tier, from Tier 6 through to Tier 10. I take the one I played the least, and I take the one with the lowest win rate and try to polish that turd. In this case, the one I played the least at Tier 10 was Panzer VII. I hadn't played any games in it. I bought it for discounted to 4.8 million credits when it was last on track, and just hadn't taken it out of the garage since. But I really regret not doing that now, because there's some gameplay characteristics about this tank that I didn't find at all with Maus that just make me really enjoy this tank. I guess what put me off the most about it is that this is the successor to the VK4502B, Tier 9 German rear turreted heavy tank. That is just an absolute side-scraping god. Panzer VII, on the other hand, is not. It's got this massive bulge for the turret ring that if you try to angle that out behind a corner, it becomes a very large and obvious weak spot. So you cannot, under any circumstances, side-scrape in it. But what you do get that you don't get with Maus is the ability to lay your gun on the target while still presenting effective armor. Maus, on the other hand, you present your weakest armor when you are aiming at the turret, or when you're aiming your gun at the target. And that presents you with a rather awkward situation where you're angling your turret maybe 20-25 degrees off to the side to maximize your armor profile. The enemy fires, and then you've got a short amount of time to try to bring your gun onto target, be confident in your shot, and actually shoot the enemy, which is going to be at a point in time when they're probably pulling back into cover while they're on the reload. So your opportunities to cause damage in that tank, I feel, are somewhat restricted by that. Not the case here with Panzer VII. You can maintain your best armor profile while pointing your gun at the target. And look at this, we've been able to bounce APCR from the T110E4. Okay, not that time, but we did before, and I'm going to stick with that. You still maintain sufficient accuracy on the weapon to be targeting weak points at short to intermediate ranges. And the gun is quite nice. It hits with a very nice and meaty 560 hit points of alpha, penetrates for 258 millimeters, which I suppose is arguably on the low side for a Tier 10 vehicle. Your premium shells, the premium APCR, that penetrates for 315 millimeters, which is sort of on par with what you get with Maus or E100. But yeah, it's actually been a real novelty to play a top tier German heavy tank that actually has armor that allows me to keep my gun in the fight, and that's been enabling me to do the unachievable. So thus far, I've actually struggled with this personal campaign mission, Bloc-1 for the Chimera. I need to cause 5,000 hit points of damage in a German or Japanese vehicle. And I guess I've been trying to grind heavy tank 15 for the T55A with Maus, but I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm gonna try and grind it with this, and we've actually come pretty close on numerous occasions. We came fairly close on this battle, truth be known. But yeah, 5,000 hit points of damage is what we need to pick up. We also need to be top 3 on the team by experience earned. So for now, we are sort of closing on the enemy on all sides. We seem to have superiority in our cap circle. We've got them backed into a corner here. Accordingly, their Waffenträger Panzer IV is in the sniper nest in the far back corner at A0, and that's a really strong position for them. They can spot us, they can still guide whatever tank destroyer assets they have available, but in this case persistent blind firing has enabled us to just knock that vehicle out now. So 2 enemy vehicles left. We've got the Granatenwerfer Tiger P and a T-54E1 that's in the middle of the map. Not too much that we can do about that one. The T-54E1 is knocked out, just leaving the German tank destroyer knocked out by our T-110E4. So that's a game for us. We do appear to be short on our 5,000, however, but we are relying a bit on our blind fire of the Waffenträger. So let's take a quick look at those results. So in the words of the great philosopher Borat, great success! We have ended up with over 5,000 hit points of damage inflicted on the enemy. So I guess the results that we didn't see was the 727 hit points of damage inflicted by blind firing at the Waffenträger Panzer IV. Broadly speaking, for our efforts, we've come away with a level 2 mastery badge. We've also picked up these epic medals here: Steel Wall for receiving the most hits from anyone on the team. We've also picked up the High Calibre medal for accounting for at least 20% of the total hit points of enemy vehicles. So interestingly, we mentioned that we came quite close to picking up heavy tank 15 for the T55A with honours, which requires us to as a primary condition to bounce, block and receive a combination of 12,000 hit points. We've managed, once I sort of take account of the 2,500 hit points that this vehicle has, we came up with nearly 11,200 combined that we would have accrued, and with 5,270 hit points inflicted upon the enemy, we would have easily accounted for 25% of the total enemy hit point pool there as well. Just a couple more shots down range or a couple more shots blocked, that would have given us that honours condition as well. But not to be this time around. We have still picked up a couple of badges of merit here. Hand of God for surviving and winning, having received damage from at least 4 different enemy vehicles. Fire for effect, and shell proof, which sort of goes hand in hand with these 2 epic medals as well. Having a look at the team scores, our honours condition was to place within the top 3 by experience, which we have done now. We've just scraped in. By all accounts, this is quite a high scoring game. Something that's potentially not working in our favour there is just the fact that we were tier 10s over tier 8s. We tried to engage tier 10s where possible, specifically the Super Conqueror and T110 E4, but I mean, ultimately you're going to engage whatever targets are on offer. So proportionately, the STI or the ISU 152K engaging tier 10s is going to be picking up a bit more experience than we will engaging tier 8s, even though we might have bigger alpha and higher confidence of penetration. But there's our secondary condition for block 1 of the Chimera picked up. So that's that mission completed with honours. Special mention on the enemy team to the T-54E1 that had gone down fighting towards our cap circle, and of course the Waffenträger Panzer IV, who collected over 4,400 hit points of damage, really fighting to the last shell until we'd knocked it out through some rather lucky blind fire. But World Tanks is certainly one of those games I would rather be lucky at than good at, and not to suggest I'm either. Having a look at the detailed report, this was quite a profitable game for us. Once you take battle payments out of the equation, that's still about 32,000 credits that we had profited by this game. Now, granted, we didn't fire. I don't think we fired any premium ammunition that game. Didn't really need to. We sort of had opportunities to pen pretty well everything we engaged there. So all in all, happy with that, and finally making some progress and landing with a German heavy tank that I'm just a lot more confident in being able to keep the gun in the fight, as well as be able to block damage. So that is all too important when you're trying to knock over HT-15. So let's keep an eye out for that one and hope it comes our way. It will have been a long time coming. And if you've got a game that you'd like to share with the community, then please reach out over Discord or any of the links below, and I'll do our best to sort you out. Please also check out the About section of our YouTube channel. It's got some of our community submission guidelines. But of course, if you've got a personal campaign honours completion or just a super tight result, we're quite happy to overlook a few of those guidelines. In the meantime, take care out there.